Releasing your niche.
A couple months ago, I was at a elementary school and I was servicing another business that I do. And I have a couple businesses, but it's one of my business adventures. And I was at the school and I was working there just for a short period of time. I'm there for about 30 minutes and I move on to another school. And as I was there, I ran into a janitor. In fact, he came up to me and started asking me questions. He was very intrigued by the business that I was doing. And as we had this discussion, he started asking me more of what other businesses do you do? And so I started disclosing some of my life, my entrepreneur life, and the businesses that I run. And then he started poking and prying because I told him about how I coach and train and speak to really millennials, but in his case, he wasn't. So I said I speak and train and coach people to live out their dreams. And it was that one key phrase. And all of a sudden, as soon as I say dreams, and it's amazing how many times that happens when I'm in a conversation with somebody. I talk about living out your dream, and it kicks. There's a fire inside of him and a spark that was inside of him. He said, "Oh man, I got a ton of dreams." I said, "Okay, so like what?" He said, "Well, one of the things, I wanted to write a book." I said, "That's awesome. What are you doing to actually write that book?" And he goes, "No, actually, well, I've written 3 of them." I said, "Well, where'd you get them published? What'd you do?" He said, "Well, I never really got them published. I wrote them." And I asked very curiously, "Why?" He said, "Well, there's no way for me to publish a book. I could never get a contract. I don't know how to do it." And that froze me for a bit, but what he had to say next was more revealing than him not being able to publish a book. Because I wanted to go in and tell him all the ways that he could publish a book and how self-publishing is such a big thing nowadays. But then he said to me, I asked him a question because I wanted to know where his motivation was. And it's some things I do when I start talking to people. I start to uncover some deeper stuff and I want to see where they sit. And so I asked him a question. I said, oh, let's call him Bob. How about that? I said, "Bob, what makes you get up every morning?" And I like asking that question because I want to know what motivates a person, what inspires somebody, what says, today, this is the day that I'm going to live out with full passion and full fulfillment and make the biggest impact in my life. And he said this, "Oh man, the one thing that gets me up every day is the fact that in 12 years, I'm not even going to finish what he says in 12 years. Actually, I will. But as soon as he said 12 years, I about fell. I was squatting down and talking to him. He was standing up and he was looking at me. I about fell to the ground because I couldn't believe he just said, in 12 years. He said, in 12 years, I'll get to retire. So Bob gets up every day in the hopes that in 12 years, he will reach his fulfillment of retirement. That is not a life worth dreaming. It's not a life worth living for. And some people might fight back on that statement. Well, I want to retire. But here's the thing. God made us to work. God gave us the ability to live out our passion, live out our skills, live out the abilities that He's given to us. And if we don't live in that present moment, we will never reach that fulfillment moment in 12 years. In 12 years, you never work again. You retire. You start collecting money. In 12 years, maybe, somehow, some way, my dreams will become true. Maybe I'll publish a book in 12 years. Maybe I'll run a marathon in 12 years. Maybe I'll travel across the world in 12 years. Maybe I'll start a business in 12 years. What's your 12 years? Where's your passion? Where's your dream? Because I guarantee you, what's tied to the book writing for Bob was tied for his motivation. See, he said, that he has 3 books, but he's never published them. He didn't know what to do with them. And he also said in 12 years he'll get to retire. See, he's living today to survive, to reach tomorrow. If we live today to survive, to reach tomorrow, our today will be unfulfilling, will be unimpacting, and you will not live in the passion and the fulfillment that God is given to you. Hey, He's planted in deep inside of you, and you know what I'm talking about. You dream about it, you fantasize about it, you watch TV shows about it, you Google it, but you have an excuse. Yeah, they can do it, but not me. Why not? Why not